Greetings, Glitter Gang, and welcome back to Christmas in July. We just finished most of our page bases. We finished the inserts, and they're bound into the album, and now we're going to work on the pockets that go on the front and the back of these pages. Now, I want these pockets to hold the 6.5 by 8 7/8 inch folders so that we have a place to stash a bunch of photos. And so this is going to be super simple. We're just going to make, we're going to cut something that's 6.5 inches by 12 inches. Okay. And actually, let's do 6 inches by 12 inches, and we'll just cut two pieces, a piece of cardstock in half. And then we'll score that 1/2 inch all the way around, and then that'll get us our pocket. So this back pocket's super simple. I'm just going to quickly whip through those. And again, we're just cutting pieces in to 6 by 12, and we're going to have to make 1/2 inch sheets. Now, if you are using 8.5 by 11 cardstock, just make hinges if you need to. Go ahead and just make hinges. All right. So here's two 6 inch by 12 inch pieces. We just need one more. All right, and then I'll put this last one in the scrap bag. Yeah. Okie dokes. So these are going to get scored along the 12 inch edge at 1/2 inch. And 11.5 inches, and then turn and score them at 5.5 inches. Am I recording? Yes. Okay. Wow. Scared myself for a second there. Okay. So fold along all the score lines and burnish. All right, there we go. And I'm just going to label this so I don't throw it away. All right. Okay, now. Gonna put tape on these flaps. And then we're going to make a, I think we'll make a closure too for this so that we can really, you can load it up with other stuff. So like if you want to put tickets, receipts, etc., we'll put some kind of closure on it. So if large memorabilia will stay in it, things like that. In addition to, you know, we'll put the photo wallets back there, the large photo folders back there. Okay. So now that we've got all 3 of those taped, I'm going to cut the corners and stick them in the book. But first I'm going to burnish. And when we're going to burnish this, not burnish, cut the corners, you just take the X made by the score line and you put it under your wire and cut right through that X. And that's going to give you basically your perfect mitered corner. Every time. Every time. So with this one, I'm going to remove the tape from the long edge. And then just going to flip the book over to the back here. And I'm just going to line this up with the score line. And I want this to be above the score line. You always want to have, you know, a hair of room between your paper, your 2 score lines, so that they don't bunch up on each other. And then once you've got that one in place, you can just flip it open and then close it up. All right, and then you've got a nice big pocket on the back. So we're gonna need to make a, I'm gonna say probably a 6.5 inch closure at least. All right, gonna do flaps. There we go, another big pocket. Last one. So I think we'll do, for the last piece, for the flap, we'll do a 3.5 inch by 7.5 inch piece. So I'll be able to use some of my scraps for that. All right, so now all the back pockets are on. Let's go ahead and cut 3.5 inch by 7.5 inch pieces. And then we're gonna go ahead and score them at 6.5 inches. So I'm just gonna cut them out of these pieces. Actually, are you 3.5 inches? 1, 2. Oh, there's only 2 of you. How big are you? 7.5? All right. We got this guy and this guy. So we have enough scraps to cut our 3.5 inch by 7.5 inch pieces. So I'm gonna take them to the other paper trimmer and do it. And we only need 3. We don't need 4. So I'm going to save this last bit. All right, so these are 7.5 by 3.5, and we're going to score them on the 7.5 inch side at 6.5 inches, and then attach them to the book. Okay, well, that goes there. All right, so just gonna tape these now, or well, fold along the score line and burnish first and then tape. All right, so now these are, let's see, 11 minus 3.5 is 7.5, right? Yeah, 7.5. Half of 7.5 is 3 3/4. So let's just get the fraction calculator. I think that's right, but let's just get the fraction calculator. There's a person in my driveway. There are people, like, there is a parade of people in front of my house. Because we put up a motion detecting camera with a floodlight out there after our car was vandalized. And that thing goes off all the time. It's crazy. Oops. Divided by 2, 3 3/4. Yeah, I was right. I was right. I was right. I was right the whole time. Yeah. Right the whole time. Right the whole time. Right the whole time. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line this up on my desk. And I'm going to line the dip up on my desk because I'm going to attach it to the dip. Okay. And then we're going to come in 1, 2, 3.5. No, not 3.5. Oh my gosh. Okay, 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 okay. Just come up. You're doing great. You're doing great. You're doing great. You're doing great. Oh, good job. It's 3 3/4. So this is 1/2 and 3. So I just need to come in 1 more quarter. There we go. Okay. Now this one presents an interesting case because I think we need to line it up with the edge. I guess that looks fine actually, so. This one just gets basically lined up with the tab. All right. And the reason this one gets lined up with the tab is because the tab's in the middle. All right, so there we go. All right, we're almost done with this pocket. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to come in 1, 2, 3 3/4. Okay, this is a very flippy floppy album. We're gonna need magnets to keep everybody together. And look, they line up. They line up perfectly as I planned this whole time, obviously. Duh. Okay. All right. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the pockets on the front. And for the pockets on the front, we're going to do the same thing in that we're going to do a similar thing in that we're going to have this 6-inch paper cut in half, yada, yada. But I'm going to do them 11 inches. And then I'm going to put a little side piece on them, because we just don't have the room to do the accordion on the cardstock itself. So I'm going to cut them to 6 by 11. Okay. So 6 by 11, I'm going to get the scrap bag. And the one left over from previously, I'm going to cut down to 11. And then they're also going to need 7.5 inch by 7.5 inch by 3.5 inch pieces. So that's, we need, again, 3 of them. So 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Oh no, we have 3 of these small ones that are already 7.5. Okay. Alrighty then. Okay, so I'm going to cut these to 7.5 by 3.5. And then we need the little accordions for the sides. And let's do those. They'll be 1.5 inches, but should we do them? How thick should we do them? Let's just do them 3.5, and then I can just use these. Or 4.5. Wait, how big is our piece? Our piece is 5.5. Let's do them 3.5. All right, we'll do a 3.5. 3.5 by 1.5. So I only need 1 of these. Okay. So I'm going to cut 3 1.5 by 3.5 inch pieces from this. And then I'm going to cut all 3 of these to 7.5 by 3.5. And then we'll put this all together. I'll show you how it comes together. All right. So that's the 3.5 by 7.5 inch pieces. And then the next set will be 1.5. And we need 3 of those. All right. And that's those guys. Okay. So this piece, this big piece, is going to get scored only at 5.5. So these are 6 inches by 11, and I'm going to score them only at 5.5 on the 6-inch side. All right, then these little guys are going to get scored at 1/2 inch and 1 inch, and then flipped end over end and scored at 3/4. What is happening? They're threatening each other in the chat with like cans, throwing cans at each other. My goodness. This is not in the Christmas spirit. I do not see any holiday spirit right now with these threats of violence. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. She's talking about what happens when canned goods misbehave. She's not threatening people who misbehave with canned goods. Okay. I looked up and my reading comprehension failed me, and I thought something crazy was going down. All right, so with these little small ones, these are going to be the pieces that go on the side, so they get accordion folded. So Candy posted in the group, there's not, you need 6 of these. I don't know why I said 3. Hold on. Let me, every folder has 2 sides. Don't all families throw cans at each other during the holidays? We missed this tradition in my family, unfortunately. I'm going to see if the family wants to do it, and then, you know, we'll see. All right. Now that I have the appropriate number of side pieces, which is 6, doop, doop, doobie doop, doop, doop. All right. Pretty much everyone has recovered from the 1-9. I think that the only symptoms that people have are symptoms that are like healing symptoms. The people that had Mr. Lifeguard's totally fine. He was totally fine in 2 days. We all hate him. It is how it is. It's ruined our relationship. But and then I'm back to normal. For the very, very most part, I would say like 95%. I have had a couple things where, a couple moments where I just got tired from things I wouldn't normally get tired from. Like right now, I'm like sweating like I've been running a marathon. Like I'm just like very, and it's not like, you know, I don't need to end early or anything. I mean, it's 11. This is the kind of the normal time the show ends, but like I'm more tired than I normally would be, I would say. And then a little bit more worn out, feel more exertion, I guess. And then I think my sister's feeling okay for the most part. The person who's sort of struggling the most, I would say, is my brother-in-law. And I think he had the worst cough, and he still has kind of a lingering cough. And I looked it up online, and doctors were saying that the Omicron one, that part of the healing is a cough, a dry cough, because it's how your body gets rid of the cells that were damaged by the virus. So that it's not necessarily something to worry about unless it's also coming with like shortness of breath or you know, troubling symptoms. But if you're just coughing, just have a light dry cough, it was like, she said, you don't need to worry about it right away. So we'll see how that goes. But it sounds like it may just be part of the process if you get the respiratory version of the virus. And he did. So hopefully that'll clear up for him soon, because it's so annoying to have a light dry cough. It's so annoying. Can wake you up at night. You know, it's just no fun. No fun at all. But I don't, he just, you know, he doesn't feel bad. Just has the cough. So hopefully that'll clear up soon. So, and then like I said, I'm just a little fatigued sometimes, but symptoms that I had during COVID are gone. Thankfully, because that was terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Terrible. All right, so now we're going to put all these pieces together. Okay. Woo! All right. So, all right. Going to peel the tape, and actually, let me just work smarter, not harder. Let me work smarter, not harder. Oh yeah, the heat is unreal. I got a heat warning earlier today for my area. And I've heard like Arizona's just, it's like hell's front porch. Okay, so I'm gonna attach these an inch down from the top. So all you have to do is just stick this, stick these little side pieces down. But it's just easier to put these flaps on before. Yeah, we're going to go over a little bit, but I'm going to get this finished so our construction will be complete and we'll be in the decorating phase next week, which will be fun times. Fun times. Okay, so once you've got the sides on that expand the pocket, all right, then what you're going to do is then stick your pocket down. And again, you want to see a line of paper in between the score line on the pocket and the score line on the binding. You don't want those two score lines touching each other. And then we're just going to fold these up and pinch them together like so. Okay? All right, and then we're gonna just line this up on my mat and put the flap down because that'll hold everything in the pocket. And it's the same as the flap on the other side, 3 3/4. So 1, 2, 3 3/4. All right. And you can see that it's an expandable pocket. So we've got the extensions on the sides there. So the first one is done. All right. Pocket number 2. Pocket number 2. Jazz. All right, and like I said, you just line this up with your mat and then peel the sides. It gets stuck down an inch down from the top. Easy, super easy. Has anyone seen the new Persuasion? Because all I hear is that it's terrible. And I love Persuasion. So I want to watch it, but not if I'm going to be mad. You know, I don't want to be mad. All right, so line the piece up, remove the tape. I mean, we've had just storm after storm after storm. Because the Sahara's putting off a lot of hot wind and something hurricanes. I don't know. Hurricanes like come from there. That's where they come from. But that's where they're born. So what the desert, high heat from the desert that caused the heat wave in like Portugal and Spain, I think, makes us have more storms here or something. Luckily, I mean, nothing like hurricane, but we have had some powerful tropical storms. So power flickering, all of that. All right, so that's the next one. Last one. Oops. Gotta put the flaps on the sides. Gotta put the flaps on the sides. So yeah, we shall see what's going on with, hopefully we'll have some news about whether or not we're moving. I know he was saying that they're short people for their quota. There's a certain number of people they have to hire or move into the state before the end of 2020, and they're short on that group of people. So I don't know, maybe they'll want us to move before the end of the year, which I said that's fine. They just have to pay out the end of our lease. Or whatever, however that gets handled. But although our landlord might be happy to see us go so they can raise the rent. Jerks. All right, last piece. And then our construction is done on our Christmas in July album. What? What? Construction done already? 1, 2, 3 3/4. Ta-da! Okay. So let's get this all cutely arranged. All right, so this is how it's gonna look. Open, something cute will be in there, something cute will be in there. Open, there'll be cute stuff in there. Flip around to the back, there'll be cute stuff in there, and so forth, and so on. All right. Got our construction done. So next week, hopefully we'll get some good book club discussion in on Great Circle, because we will be mostly decorating and not doing construction. In fact, we don't have any construction left until the cover of the album. So we're in really good shape for construction. Oh, I have 2 sleepy kitties. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I will be back next Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern USA time, and again at 9 p.m. Eastern USA time. We will continue with the Christmas in July album. We will have the paper printed. We'll be working with that beautiful paper from Paper Phenomenon. It is half price right now, so if you're gonna get it now. And yeah, first thing next week is magnets for sure. And so then we're going to, and we're just gonna work on this. But like, even though it's a big album, I mean, we made good progress. We've made good progress. And the main goal of the album was to get the file folder shape into an album, and an album that would be able to stand up to abuse and use and things like that. So we did accomplish that. So thanks so much everyone for watching. Stay cool this weekend, stay hydrated, stay safe, and I will see you next time. Bye now.